After the Trojan War, Odysseus, the handsome, brave hero of the Odyssey, makes the god of the sea, Poseidon, angry by claiming that he alone won the Trojan War. Poseidon vows he'll make Odysseus' journey home tough. After sailing from the land of Troy, Odysseus and his men come upon the island of the lotus eaters. Some of Odysseus' men eat the lotus, but the lotus is a drug-like plant that makes those who taste it never want to leave. Odysseus drags his men back to the ship and they continue their journey. Odysseus and his men then landed on the island of the Cyclops. They search the island for food and gifts and eventually come to an abandoned cave. They wait for the owner of the cave to come home. The owner of the cave is one-eyed Cyclops named Polyphemus. Rather than treating his guests to gifts and food, Polyphemus eats Odysseus' men. The door to the cave is covered by a great rock, and Odysseus and his men are trapped. The Cyclops asks Odysseus his name and tells him that it is Nobody. Odysseus then offers some wine for the Cyclops to wash down his crew. The Cyclops then gets drunk, and Odysseus and his men put his plan into action. Odysseus and his men sharpen a wooden pole and burn the tip to make it hard and sharp. Then when Polyphemus is sleeping, they drive the pole deep into his eyeball. Polyphemus screams in pain and calls to his brothers, telling them that nobody has hurt him. The brothers, assuming that nothing is wrong, go home. Odysseus then ties each of his men to one of Polyphemus' sheep. He then grabs hold of the underside of the largest ram and waits until morning, when Polyphemus lets his sheep out to graze. The next morning, Odysseus and his men sneak past the Cyclops underneath the sheep and then run to the ship, where they get outside. After leaving the Cyclops' land, Odysseus and his men sail to Aeolia. This is the place where Aeolus, the Wind King, lives. He gives Odysseus a gift of stormy winds in a bag so that he will be able to sail back to Ithaca. As they come upon Ithaca, the men become mutinous and open the bag. As the stormy winds are released, the men are blown astray and end up on the island of Aeaea. Once in the island, Odysseus sends men to explore. When they come upon Circe singing and weaving, they feel that there is no need to be cautious around her. She offers them food and drink, which turns them into pigs. After Odysseus receives a protectant plant from Hermes, the messenger god, he goes to Circe. And she realizes she's met her match. She persuades Odysseus to stay with her for many seasons, and then sends him to the land of the dead to seek the wisdom of the blind prophet Tiresias. Odysseus learns from Tiresias that his men are to tie him down and wear earplugs until they have passed the luring sirens, which only Odysseus can hear. As they pass the island of the sirens, they steer close to the shore to avoid the Charybdis. But in doing so, they come upon the six-headed monster Scylla. While they row past her, she reaches down and eats 6 of his men, one with each head. On the way to Lord Helios' island, where he keeps his cattle, Odysseus warns his men to leave the cattle alone. After starvation, the men slaughter some of the cattle and eat them. As soon as Odysseus and his men leave the island, Zeus gets his revenge by striking the boat with a thunderbolt. Everybody dies except Odysseus, who after many days is washed up on the shore of Calypso.